Yes, another project truck, and I finally get to drive them on the trailer instead of winching them on. And if you wonder why I always hit four-wheel drives, well, here's why. The yard I park our trailers in is up on a hill. No matter how much crushed rock I haul in there, it still takes a four-wheel drive to get them all the way back in without spinning too much and digging a hole. Well, welcome to MrTruck.com again, where I review all the stuff that you want to know about trucks, trailers, and accessories. Hope you hear me over the wind. We decided we're never going to get away from it. 5 weeks of it, we're going to have it, I guess, the rest of our lives. But anyway, I'm so excited. I now have the Trifecta of Detroit. The three big brands out of Detroit. Those American trucks we all love. And it took me a while to get them all, but I hope you can see the newest one. It's this Ford, and it's a 1989 F-150. Now, I've got the GMC, which is the lifted truck. It's a 3/4 ton, 2500 heavy duty, extended cab, short bed, kind of a rare one. 454, but 4-inch lift, 3-inch, body lift. And we just put a transfer case in it, rear drive shaft, and now it looks like the engine's going to have to go. That's what happens when you buy on Craigslist and Facebook. You never know exactly who's telling the truth. But anyway, so Ruben's working on that truck. Then I've got my 1984 Dodge Dakota. I love that truck. It's 318 V8, 4-wheel drive, club cab, 6.5-foot bed. It's about as long as the GMC. And we're just going to be putting the transmission, overhauling it, making it an overkill transmission, what Ruben does. So I've been trying to find a Ford because I don't really like putting my newer Ford, my 2018, on the trailer. It's not that I'm going to hit something, but who knows who's going to run into me, and that's, $40,000 down the drain if that happens. So anyway, I thought I needed to get a stand-in truck, and this is it. Bought this out of Rock Springs. For some reason, I go to Rock Springs 300 miles away and 100-mile-an-hour winds. That's where I got the 454 that we're going to put in my GMC about a month ago. So I know that road well, and it's just terrible, terrible wind. Terrible wind out of the north, and it doesn't help you. But this beauty here, this has a lot of things I've been wanting. It's a full-size truck. It's 8-foot bed, a full-size cab, and that's it. And it's a 5-speed manual, and it's the big Mazda. The big Mazda for this truck, the little Mazda for the Ranger. Back when that's what they were doing. And the clutch is a little spongy, so I'm going to have Ruben look at that clutch. But this is probably my best project truck out of 10 of them in the last 15 years that needs the least amount of work. And also going to work on the steering wheel a little bit. It's touching on some wires. Those are minor things. And the body is straight on this truck, and it's got a 30250 V8. I've never had one. I've had 3 Mustangs. They always had like 289s. I had a 67 notchback and a Fox body, and I don't even know what the third one was. I'm getting old and delusional. But anyway, always wanted that 302. Fuel injected. That's all I buy is galvanized sheet metal and fuel injected before I buy any trucks to work on, project trucks. And I've almost bought that 5-liter in my new truck. It has an EcoBoost, but I looked at all the numbers. The EcoBoost had better fuel mileage. The EcoBoost had higher towing capacity. So I just couldn't get it, even though I wanted that V8 sound. I wanted that V8. So now I've got it. I've got my 302, because 5-speed manual. That's another thing. When you're buying old project trucks, if you get an automatic, especially if it's a Ram series, it's going to need transmission overhaul. That's why they sell them for $500. And that's why I buy them for $500. And Ruben fixes them all up for me. So that's the story of that. But now I have all 3 brands, so you can't call me a Ford fanboy or a Dodge fanboy or a General Motors fanboy, because I have them all. And I drive them all. I test them all. I review them all. But this rascal is in such good shape. I paid 1,300 buckaroos for it. And it's got new tires. It's a dual tank. So the first one's 19 gallon, the second one's 14. And so that's 33 gallon. My EcoBoost has 36, but it's nice to have the extra fuel. So you don't have to buy fuel anywhere. You can buy it, the cheap places are, using your gas buddy and all that on your phone. But it's also, so he put a new rear tank on it, and he put a new heater core in it, and he went through the engine and put cap, rotors, plugs, all that stuff. And it's got, it's in great shape. It's just so cool. I've got to reupholster the seat. It's just got a couple rips in it. And then, you know, the air conditioning works, the power windows. This is a XLT Lariat, so it was like one of the top of the line models back in 1989. So all those electronics work on, the radio even works. This is amazing. I hardly ever buy a truck that radio works, but it is cool. And I think it tows a little over 6,000 pounds. I've got all that in my book here, but yeah, it's got all the cool stuff in it. And that manual is a little safer than an automatic, unless you have somebody like Ruben that can overhaul them. But yeah, it's a good looking truck. The grill's good. I got to, you know, lift up the corners of the bumper because that's what they do. They seem to sag for some reason. But it's, yeah, the trailer capacity is 6,250. Payload's a whopping 2235. And that 5-liter in that year had 185 horsepower and 270 foot-pounds of torque. Of course, the front was one of the first ones that Ford came out with traction beam. That's the independent front suspension. It's got the, you know, the long arms go all the way across, and then they split there. But yeah, it is so cool. I love this truck. And the curb weight, we guess, is so far about 4,360. I think this is around 4,500 pounds I weighed it the other day. And I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. And this one I'll have on the road here pretty soon. And I'll, of course, I'll be hauling on my trailer to get the weight right for the test trailers. Got a Raptor coming in a couple days, and I've got to use the Jeep for that because it only tows 8,200 pounds. That's right where I'm at with that trailer and Jeep. So that'll be coming next. But yeah, this is just too cool. It's got that folding armrest in the middle of the seat. And it's, you know, actually the dash is in good shape. Everything's in good shape on it. All the glass is in good shape. No cracks anywhere. And it's hard to find one like that for 1,300 bucks. But I had to go to Rock Springs. I seem to have to travel forever to get the trucks I want. But yeah, this is, you know, kind of like the square body. Chevy calls it a square body. So it's kind of like the square body for Ford. It's got the square headlights, and it's got that big nose on it, which I don't always like. That top of the hood there, you catch a lot of bugs there. So I'm probably going to put bed liner on every day. You know, at least bed liner on the hood like I did on my other truck, to prevent the hail and the bugs and all that stuff. But the back, and this has got independent suspension, I mean, not independent, it has a solid axle back, and it's got that traction beam axle in the front. Lockout hubs, it's 4-wheel drive. It's a 410 rear end, for crying out loud. We looked on the tag on the rear end, and I looked it up on the internet. So, you know, it ought to, I'd be able to farm with it, hook a plow on it, and go running around here. But yeah, it's too cool. It's got the camper mirrors on it, and it's got the rear bumper as a Laverne drop. I think it's a 10-inch drop. They didn't have receiver hitches in, so they just made bumpers that were longer or lower. And I'll have to see, because then you got to watch in those years, is that the bumper might be, the straps that hold it to the frame of the truck might be slotted. If they're slotted, then, you know, that trailer's going to let it drop again, and that's not good. So we'll see how that works out. So I'll pull some light trailers with it. But yeah, I mean, the body is pretty darn straight. There's a little bit of rust here and there, but not a lot. And I think it's going to be a great truck. So you'll have to, it's even got running boards. It's got a toolbox. It's got a diamond deck plate bed rail, and the tailgate works. The lights all work. I may want to go something brighter on the front, just like on my 150, my 2018. It needs like some halogen or some bright lights because it's not quite bright enough. But another project we're working on, you'll see it on the trailer for a while until we get some of this stuff done. And it's fun buying project trucks, especially if you don't do a lot of work, because I don't do body work, so I try to stay away from those problems. But you know, I got a great mechanic, and some of the small stuff even MrTruck can do, because I'm not a mechanic much anymore. On the farm I had to do things, but I don't do much of that anymore. I install projects and let you know how they work and how they go on. But
don't go away, MrTruck.tv. We'll be right back.
Whoa, look at that beauty. Yeah, look at the grill. It's in pretty darn good shape. The lockout hubs back in. The glass is perfect on this thing. Even got a camper mirror. This is how you bought them from the factory, and then you can slide this piece out to get the reach of that big camper or trailer behind you. Yeah, little specks of rust here and there. Got some running boards, toolbox, diamond deck bed rail, 2 fuel tanks. That's just too cool. There's a little rust on the fender, but the tires are brand new. And look in here. There's the interior, the 5-speed. Yep, the seat's got a few tears. I'm gonna have to redo the seat. But this is an XLT Lariat. The dash is gray, only one crack in it. Got to get some knobs. And it's got a switch for both fuel tanks, and it all works. It's got a tilt wheel. That's the blinker lever that tilts it. And looky here, man, you get power door locks and power windows. It's just too cool. This is a ranch truck, originally out of Utah, and I bought it from Wyoming. But yes, indeed, get a big kick out of this truck. Even came with a spare tire. It's even got one of these drop-in bed liners. So we'll have to work on that. Tailgate's got one little ding, and it's pretty cool. And there's that Laverne bumper. I think they called that a, well, it says right on it, a class 5. That's pretty funny. But anyway, it's 10,000 pounds, which the truck's not ready for. It's a 10-inch drop. And that's how they had it before they had receiver hitches. You got a 10-inch drop. But we'll see if the straps are slotted. If they're slotted, I'll have to do something different. But that's kind of a neat option. Sliding rear window. Not my favorite thing in life. But look at this. I got rain gutters. I miss the rain gutters, so I can roll my window down and don't get wet too much. It's got the vent windows, so until I get done smoking cigars, I can use that to get rid of that smoke. That's just too cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let me pop the hood. And here's the right sides, 4 new tires. How can you beat that? Wow. And my oldest son, he's got this, I think it's an 78 150 with a Cleveland V8. But here we go, there it is. Isn't she beautiful? Got all those extra hoses for your air cleaner. And there it is, electronic fuel. Oh, what does that say? Injection, electronic multi-port fuel injection. And the air conditioner works. This is so nice. Of course, I got to flush out the power brake system. It's got some pretty dirty oil in it. Of course, we'll service it. But yeah, I always wanted a 302, a 5-liter. But yeah, it's an old ranch truck, so it's got a little mud under her. I'll have to see if I can't blow some more of that out. But yeah, ooh, a jack handle. Too cool. But yep, yes indeed. I'm going to have some fun with this old girl. It's got 170,000 miles on it, which is good for this year truck, finding one in this kind of shape. I think I got 160,000 on the Dodge Dakota and probably 190,000 on the GMC. But anyway, yeah, I buy the cheap ones, see what we can do to make them last forever. I'm getting this rig all ready to put the Raptor on here. And me and Izzy are gonna go to the mountains. I hope you like this review. You're gonna see more about this truck as we get it rocking and a-rolling. And please subscribe, come join us. And thanks for watching. I will see you at the gas station. Hi, it's Kent with MrTruck.com. Another review, a product review for trucks. And this time it's Roadmaster active suspension. Now, I've heard about this for years and years and years. All my friends have them, they all bragged about them. But I didn't understand how you could put half a spring on half of a leaf and how that would work. But now I know how it works against the shackle, the hinge of your leaf spring, and how that tightens it up and controls the leaf, which is what. So it's kind of like an anti-sway bar. It does a lot of things to control the motion back there. And you don't want a whole lot of motion back there, especially with an empty truck. Where you're on a loaded truck, you want to control that, but an empty truck is really squirrely. You need a lot of control there. You just saw the Roadmaster controlling the factory leaf spring. And that's what it does. It controls it during a wheel hop when the axle's trying to bounce and then go sideways on you. Controls the axle wrap, which is the drive shaft, universal joints and the pinion, all torquing too much angle because of the leaf springs turn into like a big S. It actually bends the factory leaf springs going through axle wrap, and just shows you just how easy it is to install. It's very quick installation. I think I did it in 30 minutes. And then in here it shows, you know, where I installed it. You install it to the eye in the front. The part goes underneath the leaf springs, and then this part cups back over by the shackle, the hinge.